The film begins with a family trying to cross the border illegally. They meet a smuggler who treats them badly. While moving through the area, they suddenly notice a soldier standing on a distant hill. Everyone becomes terrified, thinking they're about to get caught. But then something shocking happens. The soldier suddenly jumps down. As he comes closer, it becomes clear that he is no longer human. His blue veins and black teeth reveal that he has turned into a zombie. Without warning, he attacks the entire family and infects them all. To explain the origin of the virus, the story goes back 2 days earlier and shows a scientist performing experiments on zombies. A commander arrives and tells him that they need results very soon because important leaders are coming to visit, and this entire program is their responsibility. The scene then cuts to a gangster in prison. Even while locked up, he is so powerful that he continues running his drug business from inside the jail. Today, however, he is supposed to be moved to a special prison that no one has ever escaped from. This transfer is extremely difficult, so both the police and rangers are involved in the operation. The scene shifts back to the science lab, where a minister has arrived to inspect the experiments. Here, we learn that the scientist is creating a drug that can make soldiers feel no pain, allowing them to keep fighting even after being seriously injured. To make this formula, he uses animal and insect blood. In front of the minister, he injects the drug into a pig. But instead of becoming stronger, the pig dies instantly. Seeing this, the minister becomes furious. He says the scientist is wasting time and gives him only 1 week to launch the super soldier program. That means the scientist now has to deliver results no matter what. After being scolded, the scientist becomes angry. He injects another pig with a double dose and places it with the dead ones. Later, the soldiers dump those dead pigs in the desert. Back at the prison, a woman working with the gangster enters disguised as a journalist. Another partner secretly turns off the camera system. But instead of rescuing Alonso, things take a different turn. Alonso already knows there is a traitor among his people, so he kills the man and puts his dead body on the bed. When the special forces arrive to take Alonso away, they find the dead body on the bed instead of Alonso himself. That is when we realize Alonso has escaped. The scene cuts to the pigs left in the desert. A hungry wolf comes across one of the dead pigs and moves in to eat it. But the wolf has no idea that its food is about to attack back. Suddenly, the pigs open their changed eyes. Their teeth look terrifying. They attack the wolf and tear it apart. After that, the pigs enter a tunnel. It turns out this tunnel leads directly to the prison, the same place where Alonso was escaping. At the same time, the special forces enter the tunnel while searching for Alonso. Suddenly, bombs explode, causing part of the tunnel to collapse on the soldiers. Thankfully, they survive with only minor injuries. But before they can continue searching for Alonso, the pigs attack them. In order to survive, the soldiers shoot the pigs and kill them. However, before dying, the pigs manage to bite them. That is how the zombie virus transfers to the soldiers. Back in the lab, the scientist adds more powder to the drug. Then he injects another pig and makes it inhale gas. At first, the pig dies. But a moment later, it wakes up and starts acting violently, attacking the others inside the cage. The scientist is overjoyed. He immediately calls the commander and says the mission has succeeded. The medicine is finally working. The pig has now become a super pig. He explains that now he only needs to make a few slight changes so that future super soldiers will still be able to control their minds and not go crazy. In the lab, a soldier carries what appears to be a dead pig inside a cage. Thinking it looks harmless and even cute, he touches it. The pig suddenly bites his finger. Within seconds, the soldier starts turning into a zombie. They tie him to a bed, but his condition gets worse very quickly. He seems to gain super strength and easily breaks the straps. The scene cuts to the zombie rangers chasing Alonso. They move toward the building where Alonso is hiding. On the way, they attack and eat every animal they see, even snakes. Even though they are now zombies, they still remain focused on completing their mission. We then see Alonso giving a drone to his son. He warns him not to go outside while flying it, but the boy disobeys him. Outside, the smuggler from the beginning of the film, now also a zombie, confronts the child. Inside the hideout, nobody is paying attention to the boy because a spy is busy trying to reveal Alonso's location. They try to catch the spy, but he escapes into the same tunnel Alonso had used before. Meanwhile, Alonso's assistant realizes that the child is missing and goes looking for him. He finds the boy standing near the zombie, confused about what he is seeing. Just as the zombie moves in to attack, the assistant steps forward and saves the child. However, he gets bitten in the process. He immediately understands that he will also turn into a zombie, so he tells the boy to run and find his father. The boy runs to Alonso and brings him back to the assistant. When they arrive, they find him lying there, apparently dead. Alonso's son feels heartbroken because he liked the assistant, who had been teaching him how to use a gun. But then, suddenly, the assistant wakes up as a zombie. He grabs the boy and Alonso shoots him. The boy now fully understands what is happening and tells his father about the zombie. But Alonso refuses to believe him and scolds his son. The scene then cuts back to the lab, where the infected soldier is suffering from hallucinations. The scientist ties him to a table and continues the experiment. The soldier begins seeing a strange world made of particles, and this causes him intense pain. He shakes violently as the experiment continues. The scientist injects something directly into his heart, and the zombie relaxes. He then tells his team that the experiment has worked and that they have successfully created a super soldier. To test him, the scientist places a ball in the soldier's hand and orders him to crush it. When the soldier refuses, they shock him, forcing him into zombie mode. This time, he obeys immediately. He crushes the ball in an instant, but he also ends up breaking the table and completely losing control. Before he can attack anyone, the commander shoots him in the head. The scientist becomes furious and shouts at the commander, asking what he has done. He reminds him that they needed the soldier's blood to create the rest of the super soldiers. Now their only successful test subject is gone. The story then returns to Alonso and his son. Alonso is now injured because he was bitten in the stomach by his assistant while trying to protect the boy. The child begins drawing sketches to show Alonso exactly how the assistant was attacked. Looking at the drawings, Alonso realizes that his son really did witness something terrible. For the first time, Alonso begins to believe him. He orders his men to go outside and kill any monsters they find. Outside, the zombie rangers who were originally assigned to move Alonso are still there. More rangers arrive to capture them, but the zombies attack them too. During these attacks, we see flashes of memory in the zombies, suggesting that they still retain the ability to think. Meanwhile, Alonso's son and the other men kill several zombies. Then, the boy sees the assistant again. He is not really dead because he has become a zombie. The assistant rushes toward the boy as if he is about to attack him. But then, unexpectedly, he remembers the child and lets him go. On the road, Alonso's enemies are now heading toward the area to capture him. At this point, 3 groups are hunting Alonso: the Rangers, the police, because Alonso is being blamed for the prison escape, and a 3rd group made up of rival gangsters. None of them realize that the entire area has already become a deadly trap. Back in the lab, the scientist performs an autopsy on the dead super soldier. He removes the organs and studies them carefully. At the same time, the commander receives the terrible news that the zombie virus has spread widely and has already killed trained soldiers. The commander is troubled because he never liked the experiment in the first place. But since the higher authorities approved it, he had no power to stop it. Even so, after seeing the disaster unfold, he finally orders that all zombies must be killed. The scientist becomes angry and begs him to let at least one live, saying that he has worked for years on this project. The commander asks him a powerful question: does he care more about his career or about the danger this experiment has created? The scene cuts again. At Alonso's hideout, many zombies attack at once. Alonso and his men shoot them down, except for the assistant. Alonso orders his people to tie him up and take him back home. He wants to study the zombie more closely and see whether it can still think. But after watching the assistant behave mindlessly, Alonso decides it would be better to kill him. His son stops him and says that the assistant did not kill him when he had the chance, so they should not kill him either. After hearing this, Alonso agrees to keep him alive. Later, the son finds Alonso, and Alonso tells him that he cannot bear to see someone suffer. He explains that when a person is in unbearable pain, sometimes the best thing is to end their suffering. The son then asks a painful question. He asks if Alonso killed his mother for the same reason, to end her pain too. Alonso says nothing. The child, now crying, runs away in anger after realizing that his father killed his mother. This time, Alonso remains silent. Instead of following him, he gives the boy a gun and leaves, trusting that his son can now defend himself if needed. We then see a reporter, who is also Alonso's partner, traveling with a colleague when their car breaks down. A priest offers them a lift because the partner is dressed like a nun. While they are driving, a zombie from Alonso's group suddenly appears. The partner recognizes him and calls out to him, but he can no longer think clearly. The zombie attacks the priest and kills him. With the car still moving, the girl tries to take control, but the vehicle crashes into a ditch. The zombie drags the priest out and kills him completely. In order to survive, they shoot the zombie, but ordinary bullets do not stop him. Just as he is about to attack again, the girl shoots him in the head. Even then, he is still not completely dead. At that moment, a man from Alonso's hideout sees what happened. He comes to help them and takes them back inside. Back at the hideout, Alonso's son tries to train the zombie assistant. At first, the zombie seems to remember something, but then he loses control, breaks the chain, and attacks the boy. the child has no choice but to shoot him dead. Hearing the gunshot, Alonso and his men rush outside. Alonso sees his son's bravery and feels proud of him, but the boy himself is saddened by what he had to do. Soon after that, the Rangers who want to capture Alonso finally reach the hideout and begin attacking like wild animals. Then, a helicopter arrives carrying Alonso's enemies. But before they can take control of the situation, a zombie throws a rock at the helicopter and causes it to crash. Alonso and his friends hide inside the building, but the zombies manage to enter as well. At one point, Alonso and his son hide under a pile of toys. But a female zombie ranger finds Alonso and begins choking him. To save himself, Alonso jumps out of the window with her. Even after the fall, she lands on top of him and overpowers him. Just before she can kill Alonso, his son shoots her in the head. The frightened child then runs away and comes face to face with another zombie. He hides under a table, but the zombie notices him and attacks. At the last second, Leah shoots the zombie and saves him. We then see Leah recording everything around her. The zombies attacking humans, the killings, and the chaos everywhere. Alonso arrives and angrily scolds her. Although Leah had been close to Alonso, she is actually a journalist. She used Alonso only to get information on powerful people and gain fame for herself. That is why Alonso is furious with her now. Even at this terrible moment, Leah seems to care more about her career than about human lives. Outside, Alonso's men continue fighting the zombies using fire and blows to the head. Then an army truck arrives. The commander orders the zombies to come out and surrender or be killed. Alonso and his friends hear this and realize something important. The soldiers are no longer interested in Alonso. What they really want now are the zombies. So Alonso and his group decide to escape. Among them are even two enemies, but now they are forced to work together because none of them want to get caught. Then, we see the first zombie commanders dropping their weapons and surrendering like humans. They seem to be trying to prove that their minds are still partly human. They can still think, and they are still able to choose who to kill. When the scientist sees this, he becomes happy because it means his experiment actually succeeded. He wants to save these soldiers. But the commander refuses to listen and orders his men to shoot them. As soon as the shooting begins, the zombies escape. At the same time, Alonso and his group head back toward the prison tunnel. While escaping, a zombie chases Alonso, grabs his hand, and bites it. Alonso quickly shoots the zombie, frees himself, and then hides his injury from the others. As they continue heading toward Mexico, it becomes clear what this means. Alonso is now carrying the virus with him, and if he crosses the border, he will bring chaos to Mexico as well. The movie ends on that terrifying note.